So, Tony Vela, do you think that this Topps idea of transporting the patches from basketball to wrestling was going to work?
I think it's working, man.
Yeah, you think so? You
I
know,
think it's working.
when we had the dual logo man sell when it was whenever it was in 2004 sold for like 13 million, and now O'Leary walks around with the triple when he goes bowling or to buy his groceries, and he's saying that that card's worth 25 million. Last night, my friend, the first WrestleMania patch, now the WrestleMania patch from WrestleMania 25, that took him a while to get into these cards, into the new royalty set. There's a bunch of them. The Randy Orton went to eBay. We'll talk in a minute if it should have went somewhere other than eBay, but it sold for $42,100. So yeah, well done, Tops. The patch situation is working very well in the wrestling community. Something like 785 watchers, 66 or 63 bids. Yeah, $42,100 for a 2025 Topps royalty patch card.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah. Well, we knew
I
this
think
was
it's
coming. Did
crazy.
you knew that this was coming this big?
No, I don't think anybody can actually say they knew it was coming this big, but I think it's a good starting point, and it gives us a lot of clues into what is coming. And
That's the discussion.
if Randy Orton's going to hit 42,000, what's a Roman Reigns going to hit?
Yeah.
What's a
So let's identify the three that
John
we're going
Cena going to hit?
Yeah, the three are going to be the Roman Reigns, the Cody Rhodes, and what I think will be the biggest one is the John Cena. Now, we don't know that they're going to necessarily change hands. You know, they whoever pulls them might hang on to them or what have you. But the Randy came up pretty quickly and went to eBay. What are your thoughts on that? Should it have went to Golden or Heritage, or was eBay the way to go?
Well, if you want the most eyeballs on the product, eBay's your place to go to, obviously. But if you're looking for the people who have the list of those collectors with deep pockets, you probably want to go to the two major auction houses. My personal preference is Heritage, of course, but I don't know. I mean, who's to say whoever's going to buy this one, are they going to keep it, or are they going to try to resell it now that when the hype starts to get even more?
Right, when the next few sell.
Because I know Becky Lynch has already hit. I think
On
there's
day
been a
one.
few cards,
On the
huh?
first day, there was like Becky hit on the first day
Yeah,
in China. So I'm sure we'll hear more on that in the future. But a few did. Like I was four or five right out the gate, and I think Orton was maybe one of them, or hit the day after. And then it turned up on eBay almost immediately. And my thinking is that, like I like Heritage, I like Golden because of the energy and the hype that they put behind this stuff. But there was sort of a lot of hype from us, right? Like the
yeah,
community, there was a lot of stuff going on social media. So, buddy that sold it almost didn't need to go to an auction house because we did a lot of the talking up of it for them.
yeah. I think the wrestling card community came out and really was interested in seeing how this card lands. And um, yeah, I clearly it was the right way to go, man. The guy chose the right avenue, which was eBay, and it looked like it was a big success. It's just, as a matter of fact, now that I'm thinking about it, I think the Cody's already been pulled. I I I, I
Has the
could have
Cody been
sworn
pulled?
I could have sworn I saw some images of a Cody already being pulled,
It,
possibly.
it could, yeah. I don't know if it was an actual pull card in someone's possession or it was just something that we have cut from an
Oh,
image.
it could have just been a
It,
graphic. Yeah,
it could have been. It just could have been because I interchange. Sometimes I actually show graphics. Sometimes I show the actual card. Over the last few days, I was showing the actual card that got sold last night. But yeah, what does this mean for Roman Reigns? What does this mean for John Cena? What does this mean for Cody Rhodes? Are we talking? I think Cena would probably, because this was his last WrestleMania. And remember, guys, this was WrestleMania 25, not the one that passed this year. So these were
correct.
the ones that the wrestlers wore, most of them on their boots, some on their elbow pads or knee pads. And I remember at the time we were all looking to see if we could spot them during the matches. And then sort of it all died down, and then year came and went, and we never saw anything about them. And then we had all these new sets coming out in quick succession. And I
Hmm.
guess if it wasn't going to be royalty, when was it going to be? Because this royalty new set that just came out last week is supposed to be the elite pinnacle top set now. Now, just between you and me, I kind of felt that there was a bigger buzz at a higher end with Transcendent, but that's another conversation as to where does royalty fit compared to Flawless and Transcendent, and which one is the actual. But I remember like 15 grand for a case. That seemed like something stratospheric to me at the time, whereas these new royalties are gettable, at least from my perspective. But again,
Yeah,
it's
but
very,
the
very
but
early game.
the overall odds of pulling something like these patches is astronomical as
One
it
on
is.
one.
So yeah, it's tough to get. I mean, when Transcendent was came out, it was a $13,000 box.
Yeah.
And you got what you got, and it came with some every year had something different. One had WrestleMania tickets, one had Survivor, SummerSlam tickets, whatever it was. Came in a mine. I think one came in a briefcase, one in a money bank briefcase, I think. Um, so yeah, I mean, cost wise, this is a very affordable compared to that, obviously.
Compared to that, yeah.
Yeah,
But it,
but I think that we also live in a different time now where if Transcendent came out today, I think we'd be seeing those kind of numbers today
right.
as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Because of what's happened to the hobby since.
yeah,
And I mean, $42,000 is nothing to sneeze at. It's the second highest modern. We know that in 2023 we had the Rock Black Prism, which was a completely manufactured card that went for
yeah,
100 and whatever it went for, 120, whatever it was.
yeah.
Um, and this is
But
this
I mean,
now
this isn't. It's also this had multiple bidders on it, it's like that.
a lot.
Including Carl Anthony Towns from the Knicks.
Now he
He's a
didn't win
center
it. He
power
came in
forward
second,
for the
right?
Knicks, and he already jumped on social media and came in and said he was the underbidder, it's like that. And I think he made a comment about, I thought we had this thing locked in
Yeah.
at 40,000. So
Yeah, well, you
someone came
remember
in.
how on the $16 million Pokemon Scaramucci Jr. Jumped into the limelight, and that's what these things do sometimes. It brings out of the woodwork guys that are deep pockets, sports collectors, not just wrestling necessarily. Um, but
But
if someone's
how do you feel about that? And I'm interested in hearing how other people feel about it. I mean, some of these guys who are coming in here bidding on some of this stuff, these are kind of, hey, I'm new to wrestling cards like that, and they're out there, waving their big dick wallets out there, you know, of and is it good for the hobby? Is it do you hate that about the hobby? I mean,
No, it's all good. It's all good. Whenever we have these moments when we have a big Hogan or we have a big modern, for me, it's all fantastic. Someone paid $42,000, that's a car for a lot of people, for a piece of cardboard. Now, whether it's a Randy a super collector or whether it's a sports person or whether it's someone that's speculating, it doesn't matter. They ponied up, and when you have
yeah,
66 bids, you know, um, you're dealing with the real McCoy. This is a card that I don't think is going to get devalued. Like, you know, you asked me about the Black Prism. I would have a different stance, but I think these patches, now again, there's a whole bunch of patches from this set. There's going to be more of them from subsequent sets. So these are things that over time they might come down in value, and because they're hot now, this is why you're seeing this big number. But I think this does set a precedent. Like if all of a sudden the Cena shows up for sale at one of the auction houses, who's to say it doesn't get six figures based on a 42 one for Randy or Roman for that matter could be a comparable number. Cody too for that matter.
mhm.
But the Cena one because it was his last WrestleMania in 2025. I think that one has a certain cachet. That if that turns up and we have the privilege, I guess you'd call it, of watching it trade hands, we can see and we can interpolate from there, like we do with everything else that comes around the wrestling cards. And we can say, hey, this is what's going on. But I think it's wonderful. I get just excited for this stuff as I do the vintage Hogans when they come up. And by the way, another big Hogan sold last night, but this
Mhm.
is Orton's time to shine because one, Randy Orton, first time we're ever seeing his name in the sort of top tier. Um,
Yep.
and two, a modern card. And we were talking ahead of time that, yeah, these are going to be big. There's no doubt about it. But are they going to be 15,000 big? Are they going to be 25 big? Are they going to be 40 big? Are they going to be 75 big? We don't know. We don't
Do
know.
you think
And
with this Orton too, with Orton entering in, the top lists of sales for wrestling cards, does this shine a light on other Orton cards possibly?
maybe.
Stepping him up into like, ooh, wow, he
Could
was
be. I
way
mean,
undervalued.
he's in the top tier of guys. He fought for the title at WrestleMania, albeit a bit of a stinker of a match. So where he goes next in the business, we talked about this on the hot topic that we have coming out soon. What happens to these guys when they sink or swim in real life to the value of
Yeah,
their
but
cards?
I mean, Orton's a different.
Yes,
That's different. Orton
Orton's
could
a
get
future
cut,
Hall of
like
Famer,
whatever,
and
could
his
never
and
happen. But
he's set.
yeah,
It's not like he has a sort of base value that ought to hold in perpetuity, if not go up depending on the swings of the market. Um, but yeah, it's just nice to see because his is not a name. Like if you said to me, name a top 10 wrestlers of all time, Orton wouldn't be in there for me. You know what I mean?
yeah,
He's not even there, and yet this is cracking into our top of our list, our graphic. Um, number 11. That's pretty freaking good.
yeah, really good.
Because
So it's going to be
it's a
interesting to see.
Hogan world, and it's nice to see that these moderns are starting to creep up and creep up and creep up. It'd be nice if we have a few more moderns up in those top tier challenging Hogans. It'd be nice if we had a few more names in that list, like a Randy
Yeah,
Orton. you know. We don't have a Cody in there. We don't have a John Cena in there, or do we? Do we have a John Cena in there? I guess I
I
should know
don't think
that
we
stuff.
do. I think we have a Rome.
There's
We have
just
a
so many
Roman.
Hogans. There's just so many Hogans in the top sales of all time that it's fun to see these other ones creep in. Now again,
We have a Randy now. We have a Rock, and we have a Roman.
yeah, yeah, and these are all hold your beer, as you like to say, hold your beer situations because
Yes.
we know now that what we think might be 2 months might be 2 weeks before I'm at it again and updating the list.
It's
Things
nice to
like
know that about 2.5, 3 years ago, we talked about this and talking about high numbers, and we were speculating how long before we see another big card like that again. And
right away.
I know I said
Yeah,
within a year, it's like that, and
and it was.
and it
Yeah.
was, and then I think it's become the common thing now. So we continue to keep talking about this, where wrestling cards are not what they used to be. 10 years ago, it's not something to laugh at anymore. It's not something,
No,
oh, you wrestling cards.
no.
Um, it's part of it's it's the bottom of the big leagues, if you want to call it like that, but it's a much bigger market than it's ever been. And for me as a longtime collector, I think it's very cool to see that wrestling cards are accepted the way they are, and they're commanding this kind of money.
Yeah, I'll tell you personally, amongst my social circle of my friends that used to think I was whack for collecting wrestling cards and for so many, and if they're so valuable, why don't you sell some of them? Over the last couple of years, I start throwing out these numbers, 100K, 100K, this, that, this, that. Um, Now all of a sudden, they take it very seriously. They don't
Yeah,
mock me. They're like, oh, yeah, yeah, you knew what you were doing, and I didn't.
maybe Paul knows what he's talking about a little
I
bit.
was I was collecting for the fun of collecting, but I've been collecting, I've been archiving and commenting on this stuff for a long time. So it's just nice to see that what we've done, the time that we've spent, um, talking about something is now growing. Not
Yeah,
because of anything we've done specifically, but just we've enjoyed being sort of on the forefront of watching it and doing what we do and talking about these things. And I think it's great.
me
It's
too.
fantastic when we have an opportunity to talk about a sale like this. It's great for Tops. It's great for the hobby. It's great for everybody. Congratulations to the buyer and seller on it. I'm sure when the time comes, if the buyer wants to be known, he'll let us know. Um, but just all around, it was great.
I agree. I think it's good for the hobby. I'm interested in hearing what the people have to say as
Yeah,
far as what they think about some of the other talents that are coming out eventually in this release. Is this the last? Is this going to be the highest? Are we going to see things comparable to
might
this?
not be.
Someone going to hit that six-figure mark in this set? Um, I'm
It,
interested in hearing.
it almost seems inevitable, doesn't it? Tony, with as
It
much stuff
does.
that's coming out, with as much high end, with as much hype, and I'm talking about the Fanatics hype. I'm talking about the wrestlers themselves opening and being part of it. Like how many things like when I posted the Chelsea Green Superfractor, she was like, "What?"
Yeah,
This is all stuff that's great for the hobby, and great for us
agreed.
personally because we're in the hobby. You know,
Yep.
so congratulations to once again winning buyer and seller, and to all of us for being in a hobby that matters now. That
Yep.
you see wrestling cards selling for $42,000. So that's it.
Yep. That's all I got, man. It's fun to see.
Yeah, thanks everyone for watching, and I'm sure we'll be back at you with another one of these sort of impromptu record sale things before you know it.
You know it.